What a duo they make together. Thank you so much. I don't know if you've noticed, but Sue Fiddler is pretty busy on this list. She's quite the accompanist for many of our acts, and now she's up for a poetry reading entitled At 2 a.m.
Am I the only person in the room that wakes up at 2 a.m. and thinks about the state of the world sometimes? Yeah. One night I got up, I should say one morning I got up, and I was trying to solve all the world's problems at once, if I could just think the right way. And what I use is my journal. I start writing in my journal, and then all of a sudden I realized I was writing a poem, and I didn't even know it. And I'd like to share that with you. And the name of the poem is At 2 a.m. I'm nervous. I've only been a poet for the last 2 years, so this is something I'm still getting used to. Is 2 a.m. the best hour to abandon sleep and write these words? A time to face away from the roiling within? A time to wedge large thoughts, churning fears into syllable counts? To force words into stanzas? All beneath the narrowed gaze of my waking cat. Or might the quiet night, as it flows through open window, bring whispers of grace, a bid to listen for the sound of the true song? And of what do you sing, you songbird of the soul, so joyful here in the dark? Do you lie comforted and well-wrapped amidst candles of love here in this deepening night? Then I too shall lie and listen and sing the song of a soul at 2 a.m. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Sue. Nobody would ever have guessed that it's only been 2 years that you've been a poet for a long time, but the first time putting it to paper, probably. But thank you. I'm not quite sure how to introduce this next act. They are making their performing debut, and they didn't have a name, so they are the Knee Slappers. Let's hear it for the Knee Slappers.
Go, Lil. I'm Gumdrop.
And I'm Sugar Plum.
And we are the Knee Slappers. What did the janitor say when he jumped out the closet?
What did the janitor say?
Supplies. Sugar Plum.
Yes, Gumdrop.
Why couldn't the melons get married?
Why couldn't the melons get married?
Because they can't elope. What did the drummer name her twin daughters?
Well, I don't know. Tell me.
Anna 1, Anna 2. Sugar Plum.
Gumdrop.
What do cows read the most?
What?
Catalog.
Catalog!
Got another one, Sugar Plum.
What is it?
Why are pirates called pirates?
How are pirates called?
They just are.
Roar.
Okay, a couple more. Sugar Plum.
Gumdrop.
What do lawyers wear to court?
What do lawyers wear to court?
Lawsuits.
Whoa!
Got another one, Sugar Plum.
Last one.
What did the horse say after it tripped?
What did the horse say?
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Whoa! Oh, God.
We're done.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that we need to see more of Sugar Plum and Gums Rock. They left as fast as they came.
I look like it.
Stupid.
I didn't do good.
You said last
Yes,
one.
you did.
You said last one.
Oh, God, you heard me. Oh,
Your mics are still on.
Honestly, once I got up there, I didn't even think about anybody else. I was just, pew.
If that's not perfect, I don't know what is.
sorry. Sorry.
Now, Sue Fiddler's back on the docket. We have a piano solo. This was introduced at the Kentura Artist Showcase, and it is quite a wonderful piece that she put together. So here is Sue Fiddler.
Can I have your?
Absolutely.
This isn't one piece, this is three pieces. And these are dancers. These are three pieces that have very distinct rhythm. Is this good? Okay. Okay. These pieces have very distinct rhythms, and I don't think I've ever seen the music for these pieces, but they stay in my head all the time. One is from the 20s. It's the Charleston. Ain't She Sweet? Do you remember that? Okay. You're too young to remember it, but still. All right. Then the next one is from 20 years later, and it's called The Tumbling Tumbleweed. And you kind of get the rhythm of the American West going north. And the last one is Jamaican Farewell, and this is from the 60s. So we have the 20s, the 40s, and the 60s. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Sue. This next one was also presented at the showcase. We have a duet with Brenda Gilbert and Gretchen Clayball entitled You Raise Me Up. For the they're streaming it, so they can only hear it through the mics.
We'll just share a mic, is that okay? We share a mic. Yeah. That's what we did in Cary.
Okay.
Hope it doesn't think our boat.
I'm here.
Hey there. Okay, I'm not sure I am, but let's go.
Okay.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary,
When troubles come and my heart burdened be,
then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders.
you raise me up
To more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders.
You raise me up
To more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas.
I am strong when I am on your shoulders.
You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders.
You raise me up
To more than I can be.
You raise me up.
You raise me up to more than I can, more than I can be.
Outstanding. Still one of my all-time favorite songs. That's a great one. All right, just to give Brenda Gilbert a second to grab a sip of water, she'll be closing out the show with her first place winning storytelling. So we're really excited to hear that. But I just want to take a moment to thank the entire wellness department for Jake and Tedrick were a huge help putting this together, and then Alan displaying the art so beautifully back there this afternoon. I appreciate your help. So let's hear it for all the help that went behind putting this together. Thank you. And I'll turn it over to Brenda Gilbert
Don't usually
with
like a
the
microphone.
2 pickpockets.
As you can tell, I have a cold, but here we go. Once upon a time, in a little village in London, in England, there lived a young man who made his living as a pickpocket. He was very good at it. So good, in fact, that even though it was a very small town and everybody knew each other and everybody knew that he had no visible means of support, and they suspected that he was the pickpocket, no one was ever even close to catching him at it. So after a while, he decided to expand his business, so to speak, and move to London. And there in that big city with so many people and so many busy streets, he amassed a small fortune right away. And one day, as he was out looking around, looking for his next victim, he realized that his own pocket had been picked. And he looked around quickly and he saw a beautiful young blonde girl walking away at a faster than normal gait. And he figured that was who had taken his wallet. So he followed her until he got out of town. And he accosted her and he said, "I know you did it." And he pretended to know exactly what she did. And he fooled her into thinking that he did, and she gave him back his wallet. But you know, he was so surprised at how skillful she was, how clever she was to have taken his wallet, that he asked her if she would enter into business with him and be his partner. And she agreed. And my goodness, the two of them were so much more successful than they were individually. They became very wealthy. But over time, he began to think of her as something more than just a business partner. And he thought he'd ask her to marry him. She would make him happy, he knew, because she was such a beautiful young woman. But also he knew that they were the very best pickpockets in England. And he thought that the two of them could breed a race of the best pickpockets in the world. So he proposed and she enthusiastically accepted, and they were married. And after about a year, the midwife was called to help deliver a beautiful baby boy. But the poor little fella had some sort of a disfigurement. His little right arm was pressed up against his chest, and his little right hand was held in a tight fist. And no matter what they did, they couldn't move that arm and open that hand. They took him to the doctor, and the doctor said that, he could probably be taught to live a very good life, but he was too young to do anything. So they had to wait, but they didn't want to. They went to doctor after doctor. Everyone said the same thing: he's too young. Just wait a while. But with all of their money, they decided to go to the very best pediatricians in the whole world, in the very best hospital in the world. And when they went in, let me get a sip of water. They went in to see the doctor. He came out and he looked at the little fella. He was a tiny little fella. And the doctor took out his gold watch and he held the little boy's his little wrist, and he took his pulse, and he said, "You know, I think that there's a really good flow of blood there. I think everything's going to be okay." But the doctor was amazed at that tiny child and how he was watching everything he did. Why, it was unheard of for a baby that small to have such an attention span. He was amazed, so he undid his watch, he took it out, and he held that watch up in front of the child's eyes, and he let it go back and forth. And that little baby followed it with his eyes. And then all of a sudden, that little bent arm reached out toward the watch, and that little clasped hand opened up to grab it, and out fell the midwife's gold wedding band.
Awesome. It is a good story. I laugh just as hard now as I did 2 weeks ago. So thank you for sharing. And thank you to all the performers who shared all of their talents and things this afternoon. Let's give them a round of applause. And until next year, have a great afternoon. Also, I'm sorry, one more thing. Tuesday, we're having our pep rally to get ready for the spring events for the Olympics. And the Olympics kick off next week. So all are invited. Wear your Scotia red. Meet right back here at 2 o'clock Tuesday so that we can celebrate our participants and athletes. And Madison, for her art this afternoon, she's a cake decorator, and she has decorated a cake. I'm not sure how many we're going to get out of it. We're going to plenty. Well, we're good to go. So if you wanted a piece of strawberry shortcake, you're welcome to take some with you. So thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.